Good evening and welcome back to the Phightins Final here on the Edge Philly Sports with your boy Matty B on this later than usual Wednesday night. I know the game ended about 19 hours ago now. It ended about 6 hours ago. No, about 3 hours ago. Whatever. You guys know it ended 3 hours ago. But here I am, better late than never. 5-1. A pleasant surprise of a getaway game for the Phillies today as they handled their business 5-1, winning the series against the Padres, their 25th series win. If you're keeping track at home, like I am, they now go 3-3 on the road trip, and they'll have the day off, head back home, and then face the Marlins and the Braves as as we continue to get into this playoff push in the month of September. And some of the things that have plagued this team recently were not readily available today. They got some good clutch hitting when they needed it. Not awesome clutch hitting, but they did the job they had to do in two innings, and they got really solid starting pitching from Zach Wheeler, who was again, I think what's this like start number 4 that would be put in that quality start category, and that really kind of helped them ride their way to victory, 5-1 over the Padres. Again, ending the road trip 3-3. Which the way the road trip kind of started out, I'll be honest with you, I'll take it. So let's head over to the box score. The Phillies with 5 runs on 12 hits, no errors. The Padres with one run on 3 hits. Again, a solid pitching performance, not only by Zach Wheeler, but by the rest of the Phillies pitchers as well. So 1 run and 3 hits for the Padres. How the scoring got going, Kyle Schwarber setting a Phillies record with most leadoff home runs in a season, now his 10th, as he led off the bottom of the top of the first for the Phillies with a monstrous shot to dead center, a 465-foot blast. 1-0 Phillies. And then Bryce Harper would get things going in the 4th inning when he would double in Schwarber and Sosa to make it 3-0. Good positive sign to see JT Realmuto homering in the 5th inning to make it 4-0. Jake Cave later in that same 4th inning would knock in Brandon Marsh to make it 5-0. The Padres would tack on a run there in the bottom of the 9th. Cooper would knock in Bogarts, but that was it. That's all they wrote for the Padres offensively. For the Phillies on the offensive side of things, Kyle Schwarber 2 for 4, 2 runs, an RBI, homer, a walk, and a strikeout. That average is now up to 195 as he's creeping closer to the Mendoza line. A solid game for Kyle Schwarber in all aspects. He found his way on base 3 times, which I'll take that, and that's what you want to see. Again, don't take my kindness as weakness. I still have my stand on him, and I still don't think he's money. But you got to give him credit where credit's due. And today was one of those days. He got on base 3 times today. Alec Bohm 1 for 5. Kind of not a good day. 1 for 5 and 2 strikeouts. Bryce Harper had that double with those 2 RBIs, but pretty much that's all he really could get going offensively. Nick Castellanos continues his struggles as of late, 1 for 4. JT, the 2 for 4 game with the run, the RBI, the homer. He had a walk and a strikeout as well. And that's really your offensive standouts for the Phillies. I'm not going to talk offensively about the Padres because they were pretty much shut down by Mr. Zach Wheeler, who now is 11-6 on the season. Went 6 very solid, effective innings, 1 hit, no runs, no earned runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Sir Anthony Hoffman and Matt Strom would come on and pitch the rest of the way for the Phillies, giving up no runs and striking out 4 as the Philly pitching staff today K'd 11 Padres. For the Padres, Michael Wacha, who entered the game at 11-2 and a sub-3 ERA, walks away with this thing as a loss as he couldn't get out of the 4th inning or get into the 4th inning, really. 4 innings pitched, 7 hits, 3 runs. They were all earned, 3 walks. He did strike out 6, give up that home run, but the Phillies were jumping all over him, and he was definitely starting to lose his control a little bit. Hill, Martinez, Barlow, Garcia all would come on and try to hold the Phillies back, and they did. The damage was done mostly by the Phillies in that 4th inning, or in that 5th inning actually. But that's the pitching standpoint. As I said, Wacha now falls to 11-3 on the season. For the Phillies, with some of their offensive numbers, with the home run today, I mentioned already Kyle Schwarber with the record of 10 leadoff home runs in one season, dethroning Jimmy Rollins' 9 from 2007. It was also Kyle Schwarber's 41st of the season. Realmuto, his 18th homer of the season in the fifth inning as well. The Phillies did leave 13 runners on base today, and they were 3 for 16 with runners in scoring position. Not good. You don't like leaving all that meat on the bone. I don't care. I can't live with that. It's numbers that drive me crazy. Bryson Stott with a steal today, his 27th of the season. Quietly having an outstanding season on the base pads is Mr. Bryson Stott. So there you have the Phillies 5-1 victory. A huge win tonight. They needed it. They needed it as try to put this road trip in perspective completely. Not a good road trip if you kind of look at this thing holistically. They didn't play very good baseball. Didn't play good baseball at all in Milwaukee. Came to San Diego. Did what they had to do to win the series. I'll take that. But I know a lot of people, to include myself, are coming out of this road trip not feeling too confident about the Phillies and certain aspects of the game today. They did a lot to kind of assuage that. But again, this has been about a season of inconsistencies and trying to string together consistency. And the Phillies have not done that at all, really, this season. They're going to have an opportunity now coming home, an off day tomorrow, and then the Marlins and the Braves, and a huge 7-game hit, 7-game homestand that will most definitely be playoff-like vibes down at Citizen Bank Park. A lot in the standings is going to look a little bit more clearer at the end of these 7 games between the Marlins and the Braves than it does right now. The Wolves are at the door for the Phillies when it comes to the wild card chase, and maybe so much an outside shot at that division. But this is the opportunity that you wait for all season long, to put some distance between you and the Marlins, and then close some distance between you and the Braves. You now have that opportunity at your fingertips. What they do with that opportunity, well, we'll have to go and wait and see. But that is what's coming down the pike for the Phillies. Let's take a look around Major League Baseball. Games that have gone final, or I'm sorry, games that are still happening in the going into the 8th inning. The Astros are all over the Rangers 8-2. Top of the third, 1-0 Orioles over the Angels. Games that have gone final: Pirates 5-4 winners over the Brewers. Guardians 2-1 winners over the Twins. Cubs 8-2. Cubs are streaking. 8-2 winners now over the Giants. The Athletics 5-2 winners over the Blue Jays. Diamondbacks 12-5 over the Rockies. Rays 3-1 over the Red Sox. Marlins all over the Dodgers 11-4. Mariners 8-4 over the Reds. The Yankees beat the Tigers 4-3. Nationals beat the Mets 3-2. The Cardinals beat the Braves 11-6. They got some help there. And the White Sox over the Royals 6-4. And that is your look around baseball this Wednesday night. As far as the standings go, the most updated, hot off the press type standings we'll first take a look at, of course, are overall National League East. Phillies with their win tonight and the Brave loss. They're now 13.5 games behind the Atlanta Braves in second place in the National League East. Things are still kind of there if the Phillies handle their business and get some help. As far as the wild card, which of course everybody looks at, everybody really seems to be caring about these days, the Phillies now just a game and a half ahead of the Cubs in that one overall spot. The Cubs are just a game and a half back of the Phillies for that number 1 overall wild card slot. The Marlins are the 3rd team now in the National League, as they have moved ahead of the Diamondbacks by a half a game. The Reds are a half a game out, and then the Giants 2.5 out, as that wild card race in the National League continues to be tight. And after this weekend, things should be a little bit more clearer in regards, hopefully. As for this weekend, the Phillies will get things going Friday night at 7:05 at the Bank. Yuri Perez against Christopher Sanchez, 7:05, as I said, first pitch. So, all in all, this is not the type of baseball that I want to see this team playing in September. I get it. I get the series win. They did what they had to do. But when you look at some of the meat, again, I'll use the meat on the bone analogy. They left a lot of it on the bone this week. in Milwaukee and here in San Diego. Baseball is a game of inches. It's a marathon. It's, all those things. You got to do what you got to do to win these games. And the Phillies did a lot of what they're not supposed to do to not win games, more than what they did to win games. But today, 5-1 victory, a solid pitching effort. Needed that one probably more than a solid offensive effort, but we definitely needed a solid pitching effort. We got one again today from Zach Wheeler. We get the win. We now move to a season record of 77-62, and now 3-3 in the month of September as we prepare to head home. And again, the 25th win overall, 25th series win overall for the Phillies in 2023. And now it's a day off, and we get ready to welcome back the National League East. And with that being said, let's welcome in the EOP lineup for the week. It's Wednesday. I'm actually with the last show of the night. So I wasn't supposed to be, but here I am. I'm the anchor man of the Wednesday night. Tomorrow you got Locker Room Sports, the Mike Barrow show here on EOP, and then Attacking Third, and then of course Friday we get you set for the big weekend in Philly sports. Of course, the Eagles starting their season, as well as some Phightins Phinal, some Steel Steps, some Kelly Green Hour, and then on into your weekend, fun-filled football weekend here in the Delaware Valley. And what a better place to go and enjoy some of that fun-filled football in that playoff leg atmosphere baseball. Then Dolan's down there at 24 East Sellers Ave in Ridley Park for Quizzo music, great times, memorabilia giveaway. And you never know who might walk through the front door at Dolan's. And if you can't get to these games out of town for the Phillies, then you missed out. So next season, though, there'll be more opportunities, and head over to Philly Sports Trips right now to cash in on those opportunities. And that's just one of their trips that they're going to have next year. Of course, that's the big one, the London trip. They're doing Eagle stuff right now. And of course, this is the next really, really big one, the trip down to Tampa with Hollis Thomas, Vince Papale, and Dave Akers. So head over to the Philly Sports Trips, see how the pros travel. And then once you're done with that and you decide, you know what, I want to go to some home games, well, then you go over to Sherry's Ticket Town, because you're going to pay great prices and you're going to get no hidden fees. And you're also going to get an additional 10% off when you enter the promo code EOP10 at www.sherrystickets.com. And then when your day is done, you sit back and relax, and you all of a sudden remember, hey, man, I got a workman's comp, I got a motor vehicle accident, personal injury, or a criminal law question. Well, Dave Cherry got you covered. 610-565-0300. Tell Dave that EOP, the Phightins Phinal, and Matty B sent you. And folks, I see the end of the show. 5-1, Phillies winners. 3-3 on the road trip. 25th series victory of the year. Now it's time to really kind of bear it down as they come back home and face the Marlins and the Braves over the next 7 days or so. And I suspect the playoff picture will be a little bit more clearer after these next 7 games. And let's hope that the Phillies have done enough to put themselves in whatever position that might be, but it's the best possible position, as they have an opportunity now to put some distance between them and the Marlins and close some distance between them and the Braves. I don't know what the atmosphere in the dugout is or the clubhouse is. Do they even consider the division achievable height? I know I still think it can be achieved, but we'll see. We'll see how Rob Thompson handles these next 7 games. Does he treat them like the playoffs? Does he treat them like any regular games? We'll wait and see. I have my opinions about that, but we'll wait and see as these games develop before I give you that. And the Phillies, the main thing here is the Phillies have an opportunity over these next 7 games to do some damage in the standings, either on the negative or positive way. It's really going to be up to them, because this is it. This is that chunk of time here. Now, again, there's more games after this, but these 7 games, these next 7 games between the Marlins and Braves, are going to tell you a lot about what the Phillies are moving into the stretch run of the season. Until we talk again, I don't think I'm back with you again until next week, but Mike, Al, and Pat will have you covered the rest of the week. Until we talk again, what am I missing? That's right. Harry the K, what you got?
He has